And so when these instances happen, I feel like we as a community, as a society, need to do a much better job of practicing some discernment and like letting things play out before we, let the jokes fly. I know we always gonna make jokes. I get it, but sometimes that shit is annoying to me. Look at Samaria with the tank top on. Okay, I see you. What's up, shorty?
Rodney with the hair out. Okay.
Know me, yeah. R.I.P. Show Nuff. You don't know about that. You might be too young. The Last Dragon. You familiar?
You always be telling your age. You stay telling your age.
That's fine. I ain't no young chicken. To get older is to mean to get better. You dig what I'm saying? I'm appreciative to be alive. But seriously, you look great today. I hope your spirit is doing well, for sure.
It is. I actually just saw a TikTok where a girl was eating a Five Guys burger with 6 patties, and that really disturbed my peace. But I'm okay though.
That sounds athletic. I'm ready to talk about some sports. Let's get into the Fumble.
All right, Caitlin Clark has been phenomenal after the Olympic break in those 2 games. The Fever are undefeated, with Clark putting up 52 points, 19 dimes. That was enough to break the WNBA rookie assist record with 232. So with 12 games left in the season, is Clark the clear front runner for Rookie of the Year? Rodney, what do you think?
Are we just talking about Rookie of the Year? Are we not throwing her into the MVP conversation? Are we not ready to insert Caitlin Clark into the MVP conversation for willing this team into the playoff picture? Are we not trying to acknowledge that this woman who is first in assists, 11th in scoring, is the sole engine and purpose for this team having any level of success? Rookie of the Year is locked up. Now it's on the bigger and better, fam. I don't want to hear about no Rookie of the Year. There is no competition anymore. I'm sorry.
Did you just say MVP?
In
Over
the conversation. I didn't. No, that's
okay.
See, I don't like that. Don't do that. That's not what I said. What I said was in the MVP conversation. Now in the NBA, right, we always talk about the top 5 MVP candidates. Jason Tatum was never going to be the MVP last year, right? It was really between SGA and Jokic, but at least his name was brought up in the conversation. And I just want to mention Caitlin in the same breath as those who are having an outstanding season. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, that's fine. I want to give a shout out though to the Fever team as a whole. I feel like they definitely made the most out of an opportunity. No, I'm serious because
I know
took
you
that
are.
Olympic break and they were in the gym. And the great thing is that none of their players were in Paris. So where some of the other teams, the bigger name teams, their stars were in Paris, the entire Indiana team was in Indiana putting in that work, and we can see it. The way that Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell have been connecting, I'm like, what is going on? They look really, really good. Caitlin has come into her game for sure in that break. I think that this Olympic break was the best for her overall, I feel like.
Yeah, you can tell her body feels recharged. Also want to give a shout out to Lacey Hull. That last game was incredible. I think she went like 6 of 7 from 3. Their team is playing well, still missing a lot of layups. Those 19 assists that you referenced earlier that Caitlin had really probably could have been about 30. But they're getting better. They might be around 42% on making layups right now. I think this team is dangerous. I was actually watching a clip of Sue Bird mentioning the Indiana Fever as a team she would not like to go up against entering the playoffs because of their pace. Their team gets up and down so quickly. Like, it really is amazing how Caitlin Clark is able to put pressure on defenses. Kelsey Mitchell is balling. She's fast as hell, and her outside shot is dropping right now. Just a really, really, really good game. Aaliyah Boston is rounding into shape as well. And so I would be really afraid if I was a team entering the playoffs having to go up against a dynamic, all-time legend like Caitlin Clark in a clutch and critical situation. She's 3rd in three-pointers made on the season, and the hype might not even be doing her justice. Like, she is the Wemby of the WNBA. The same way I felt about Victor Wembanyama for the NBA this past season is the same way I'm feeling about Caitlin Clark. They are both high impact rookies and for sure going to be legendary in both of their respective games. You got something to say. You got something to say, don't you? What?
Well, no, I was just going to say that Vegas agrees with you. Like, they are now creeping up on those odds to actually win the whole thing. I think New York is their number 1 right now, which I don't.
Yeah.
I like that. I don't disagree with that. But the Fever are kind of creeping up. Do you agree with the Vegas odds that they have a shot now to win a championship.
Nah, they don't have a shot to win the championship because they have to be more consistent in making their layups. Okay. So until that happens, and I know I keep harping on that, but I really watch the games and they be smoking layups, and it is crazy. But I will say that they're playing better. They look good. They look like a real team. Christy Sides, who earlier in the season I was asking to be fired, looks like maybe some of her words are starting to, I don't know, have an effect of a positive nature on a team. But outside of the fever, I do also want to shout out Gabby Williams. If y'all don't know, Gabby Williams played at UConn. She was on the Parisian Olympic team, led them almost to a gold medal. She is now back in the WNBA playing for the Seattle Storm, and she was too fine not to acknowledge. So I just wanted to say hello to her.
In Seattle, I mean, getting Gabby, they was already up there.
It's a good pickup.
That was good. I like that.
It's a really good pickup for them. Yo, the WNBA season, like this last stretch of games, these next 12 games or so heading into the playoffs, it's high stakes. I'm actually really looking forward to watching more and more WNBA basketball, as I have been throughout the whole season. I just think that they're so competitive. There's so much parity and there's so much star power. And even if you don't know the names per se, like the games jump off the screen when you watch. Like it's really, really good basketball to watch. So I'm excited for the close of the season.
And it's only getting better as the season progressed. I think that was one of the things that was not the best about the WNBA, where they don't have a period to have like a true training camp and have a true like off season before the season starts. So that's a bad thing for the WNBA, but I think for a viewer it's great because like you said, once we get to the playoffs, these girls are like really locked in at this point. And so they kind of worked out the kinks that maybe they had earlier in the season, and we're really seeing like the best basketball.
Yeah, the only thing this league is missing is Samaria Terry covering games. We missing that. We need that. People need to see these shoulders and the collarbone and the trachea on camera.
See, you take the braids out and then you acting crazy. Y'all let us know down in the comments what y'all think. We're not listening to Rodney today.
So 2 years ago, an accusation made against Dwight Howard in which it was alleged that he SA'd a man and tried to force an all-male threesome by someone hiding in a closet. Samara, you heard about this story, right? So today, just about everybody out there needs to issue an apology to Dwight because his accuser, Stephen Harper, has dropped his suit. It is also important to note that no payment or settlement was made to encourage Harper to drop his suit. So Samaria, big question here. What should people do when accusations like these are made against them that are completely false? And the secondary question is, does this mean Dwight Howard should be back in the NBA?
Okay, so for the first question, unfortunately, people do have to just kind of wait it out. They have to let the law work. They have to go through the legal system to see. When I saw, like when you sent the, like, okay, we're going to talk about Dwight Howard, I just knew that there was some sort of settlement. Like I just figured. Like I hate that, but I did.
See,
and I was shocked. I was shooketh to learn that there was no settlement. So I'm like, okay, like Dwight was really telling the truth. And I think, like you said, a lot of us do have to come back and say we were wrong and we're sorry because legally you didn't do it. Legally, you didn't do it. Now I don't know if Dwight should be back in the NBA. I don't think that he being out of the NBA is because of SA. Right?
You don't think that has any bearings on whether or not teams are wanting him to be in their locker room when he has this case hovering above him? This is a really big deal.
I think that it's time. I think that it was just time for Dwight Howard to be. I think
he's averaging like 70 points in China. See, so Dwight Howard is also on that list of players. We mentioned it I believe last month. Carmelo Anthony, John Wall, Dwight Howard, Allen Iverson, DeMarcus Cousins, a group of guys who the NBA one day just up and said, nah, we good on you. And Dwight Howard should have been on the top 75 players list. Dwight Howard is one of the greatest centers that the NBA has ever seen. Dwight Howard is still in incredible shape and at the very least is an enforcer in this soft-ass NBA. There's no reason for him to not have a jersey, not be collecting an NBA paycheck, especially considering, and this is all due respect, DeAndre Jordan has a job in the NBA. You can't tell me that Dwight Howard isn't more of a contributor at this stage in their careers or ever than DeAndre Jordan. There's no way that you can sell me on it. You can't tell me DeMarcus Cousins can't be in the league and put up numbers when Rudy Gobert exists. There's just no way for you to be able to convince me of that. And so I think the only thing outside of maybe some of the quirks of his personality that was keeping him from being on the NBA roster was, in fact, these allegations. I would hope not. Maybe it's because of, his sexual orientation. There has to be something other than basketball at play here because he's too damn good to not be in the league.
Ooh. I mean, I forgot about DeAndre Jordan. I'm not going to lie.
Yo, respectfully, and I like DeAndre Jordan, but respectfully.
But no, you made a great point. You make good points. I don't know. You need to ask somebody.
Yeah, James Wiseman is still in the NBA.
Okay, now wait.
There are a lot of players who aren't great, who Dwight Howard would actually cost less, right? At this stage of his career, he just wants an opportunity. You got to play these. You got to pay these young.
He does want to continue to play. He does want.
Hell yeah! I just watched a podcast with him, DeMarcus Cousins, and God, Quinn Cook, and they were talking about they love basketball. They desire to be back in the NBA, but the league seems like it has moved on from them, and I think it's whack. I think it's so corny, yo. It's the politics of sport. And I just feel like when it happens to our legends, especially, like we gotta speak up. We gotta take a stand because it doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. I'm sorry. You can't tell me DeMarcus Cousins is not better than Kevon Looney. There's no way. There's nobody on earth who can tell me that. Period.
So
Nobody.
DeMarcus Cousins is a legend to you.
Yeah. From a talent standpoint, his career didn't actualize at its highest potential because he kept getting injured. But in terms of talent, DeMarcus Cousins had one of the greatest skill sets of any big man ever. He did a lot of the things that Joel Embiid is currently doing. He just wasn't as tall as Embiid, but DeMarcus Cousins was crazy, man. He was elite.
Okay.
Why you say it okay like that all flippantly? I feel like you're really dismissive.
No, I just said okay. That's good to know.
Okay, but also, so we didn't touch on the first part of the question. Well, I didn't on the first part of the question, which is like, what should people do in instances where they're accused of things like this and it's completely false? And you said as a black man, I detest the idea that I have to wait for my innocence to be proven rather than my guilt. I don't know when this started where, the due process is no longer what people need in order to come to a conclusion about something as heinous as SA. But I really hope that we get back to a place in society where we stop criminalizing anybody, but for sure black men, for things that have yet to be proven as factual. And this was a funny story. People made a lot of jokes about Dwight Howard. Like this was, like he has hella children. He's got family. Like we were acting like he was just, a piece of furniture, some inanimate object without feelings. And I don't like where we are as a society. And so when these instances happen, I feel like we as a community, as a society, need to do a much better job of practicing some discernment and like letting things play out before we, let the jokes fly. I know we always gonna make jokes. I get it, but sometimes that shit is annoying to me. I ain't gonna lie.
Well, unfortunately, in our society, those things don't happen. So that's why I was like, yeah, we would like to see us be better as a people, but we're not. And so, unfortunately, you have to see it play out in court. And now, he's justified. So. Yeah,
but but he still took the L. And the crazy thing is, I'm about to go off on a slight tangent. And the crazy thing is, like, I'm going to chill. I'm not going to go crazy. I really could go crazy, but I'm not going to go crazy. But for men, right? And I don't know how aware you are of this. Some of the things we deal with that we can never say out loud, we can never complain about formally or, just in our private spaces are crazy. I can't tell you how many times I've had women grab me by my I'm going to say the word, by my women that I don't know, walk like grabbing my ass. I can't tell you how. Men deal with a lot of sexual trauma that we can never really speak out about because we're supposed to just like it and enjoy it. And, it just is frustrating. It's frustrating. And so I empathize. If this man felt like he was victimized, I empathize with that. If this man was lying on Dwight Howard to cash out and get a payday, I empathize incredibly with Dwight Howard. But we got to do a better job of finding places that are safe for men to vocalize their traumas and experiences. I think we need to do a much better job of acknowledging some of our experiences.
I'm just saying, like, you preaching to the choir. Unfortunately, I hate to say that, but you are. I'm a woman. I'm a black woman. We can't say nothing about nothing because nobody's gonna believe us when we do. But anyway, you all let us know down in the
See, look at that. No. Stay right here. No. Even in that instance, right? I'm telling you about the experience of men, right?
And I'm saying I can empathize with you because I've been there.
That's not, yes, but even that in and of itself is not acknowledging, it's not a true statement of empathy, right? It's not acknowledging the statement that I just made, because then you insert yourself and your experiences into what I'm just telling you my experiences are. No, real spill. Like, that's frustrating, because I think a lot of men especially experience that. Not even men, we'll remove gender from it, but people in general insert their experiences into somebody else's experiences as a means of connection and connectivity. And all I'm asking for is just for, like, the acknowledgement. I think a lot of people just want the acknowledgement without somebody else attaching their traumas to the conversation at hand.
Well, I hate that you've experienced that. I hate that other men have gone through those traumas. I really do. I wasn't trying to insert myself. I'm just letting you know, like, I get it. I understand how you feel wholeheartedly because I've been there. I'm not trying to, like, but I'm just telling you, like, I understand you.
Okay. All right. Y'all let us know in the comments section your thoughts on Dwight Howard. Should he now be allowed back in the NBA? And what team would be a good fit for what he brings to the table? So from time to time, we highlight comments left under our videos or social media pages that we feel may need a direct response from us. So leave a comment and you may end up getting a response right here on the show. Now, this week, we gotta address a comment about last week's story regarding one Colin Kaepernick being offered an NFL coaching position by Jim Harbaugh. Justin Bridges, 69, wild name, had this to say: no, he disrespected the flag, the people who fought for it, and the people who will fight for it. Freedom isn't free, and people who aren't getting paid millions as a black man shouldn't say America is racist. If it was, you wouldn't be a millionaire. Sorry, he doesn't use commas. Samaria, what do you think about that on his face? That's crazy.
Listen, when I read that, I was just like, this doesn't even deserve a response, because Colin Kaepernick has said at least 1,000 times that he was not being disrespectful to the flag. He's told you that he was trying to call out this institution of racism that we have in our country. Why do people keep saying that? He was not disrespecting the flag. If that's like your only argument, maybe you should kind of take a step back and really do some more research.
Yeah, nor was he disrespecting our military. I've seen that argument be brought up a million times. Like, no one ever mentioned the military, fam. Like, stop inserting and hijacking what his protest means to you, and take the man at face value in his explanation as to why he was protesting. You cannot tell somebody about their experiences. And as a black man in this country, you damn sure can't tell us about the mistreatment of unarmed black citizens in this country who are being gunned down by police officers. The numbers are startling. I don't have the stats in front of me, but we are far more susceptible to being gunned down by police officers while unarmed from a statistical standpoint, right? Not from a straight numbers, because there's not enough of us to kill as there are white people in this country, but we are gunned down disproportionately, statistically speaking, by police officers. And that was what Colin Kaepernick was protesting about. That is why Colin Kaepernick took a knee. And so to say because somebody is being paid millions of dollars that he has to exist in a state of disillusion as to what's going on in the world is insane to me. Like, those with money, those with money are and a platform are the ones who should be speaking up without a platform, without money. Like, that is how a real society and a real community works. So completely in disagreement with freak ass, I don't know what his name is, I just know he has 69 in it. Yeah, but I'm disagreeing with Freak Boy. Yeah. And
there were other people in the comments saying that they didn't feel like he deserved an opportunity to be even a coach in the NFL. I'm like, that is so, like, I don't know. I just felt that was really harsh, because I don't think that Colin Kaepernick ever did anything malicious or just like, I mean, he literally just did a silent protest against all the things that you just said. And now you're telling us that he does not deserve even a coaching position, even though his talent, come on.
Listen, I've seen murderers, people who have killed people, be allowed back in the NFL. I have seen people who have committed DV allowed back in the NFL. I have seen people who have drunk drove and robbed, stolen, beaten. I've seen every kind of criminality allowed back into the NFL. But a protest is where we draw the line. A person trying to support and represent their community is what makes him ineligible to be a part of the NFL. This is so illogical to me that it's hard for me to wrap my mind around. Freak ass 6'9" boy. I hope that you do a better job of understanding the risks that exist when black people exit their home and into the world. And hopefully one day you will make millions of dollars and be platformed so that you can be a witness and a voice for those who are disproportionately being murdered by police officers. Thank you, freak ass boy. Okay, Samaria, it is time for a fun one for Fumble of the Week. Now, when I was growing up, we used to have shows like Pros vs. Joes and American Gladiators that showed the physical difference between a top-tier pro athlete and someone who was simply a gym class all-star. Now, I can't deny that every now and again, a Joe would be the pro, and you'd be happy for the guy or woman, but usually the pro at that point was retired and their body was being held together by glue and duct tape and some chewing gum, so they weren't really elite. Never can I recall a time when a Joe took a shot at the active greatest in an individual sport. But in today's social media climate, where ordinary people think brushing their teeth makes them influential, we have a record amount of folks walking around with more confidence than R. Kelly at a prom. Now, in the 2028 Olympics, there will be a new sport introduced, and that sport is flag football. One of my favorite things to play even to this day. And according to Darrell, Doucette, a quarterback in the AFFL, which is the flag football league here in America, he is not only better suited to play flag football than Patrick Mahomes, but he also believes that he can lead a team of flag football players to victory over a group of NFL players. Now, when I saw the clip circulating, I thought that maybe someone had done a bad edit job and was trying to make him look crazy. But he really said this. Now, I will give him credit for acknowledging that the NFL players would be better once they learned the rules and all the nuances of flag football. He did acknowledge that. I even respect the irrational confidence it takes to say that Mahomes should have tried out for the team and not just be handed a job because he's won 3 Super Bowls. It's irrational as hell. But clearly, a man with that much gall must be the GOAT, right? Like Darrell gotta be that guy. Well, I went and I found some clips of Darrell's highlights, and let's just say, bro is not like that, okay? He is 5'8", 140 pounds, respectfully. Now, I myself have been a dominant force on a flag football team since college. I have won championships. I have been an all-pro receiver and safety in multiple leagues. But never have I seen a man out there on that flag football field who I said, damn, that man could be a Hall of Fame NFL player. It's just it don't work quite like that. Now Darrell Doucette, you gonna get the Fumble of the Week this week, my brother, just because you tripping. Samaria, what are your thoughts on 5'8" flag football standout Darrell Doucette, declaring himself to be better than one Patrick Mahomes for flag football or any version of football, including Madden?
Yeah, he was wild for that. I think that he was just trying to add some shock value. He was trying to maybe get more eyeballs on the AFFL because there's no way that he truly thinks that. There's no way that he truly believes that. I will say, though, for the 2028 games, I don't think that any professional players are going to be on the team.
Why not, though? Like, you wouldn't want an opportunity to represent your country?
I only say this because you got to think about when the Olympics falls. They are in the heart of training camp. We just talked about how Simone Biles' husband was able to get a week off.
You better learn that man's name. Don't do that. You better learn that.
Jonathan Owens was
Don't
able
do
to
that.
get a week off in Chicago from training camp. And that was like a big deal. So think about all the training that they have to do, the off season where they should be preparing for the upcoming season where they're being paid millions of dollars. Like we just talked about, the millions of dollars. I don't think that these teams are going to let your star players, like Mahomes or Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase. None of these guys are gonna. I just don't see it. So I do feel like you're gonna get the best of the best from a league like the AFFL. They have teams across the country. We got one here in Nashville. I think they're like the Nighthawks or something like that. But I think that's going to be the team that represents. I think they're going to be whoever's the best of the best. Now, this guy, I don't even know if he does not make the team, like you cannot say anything ever.
When I watched his highlights, I was like, what kind of throwing motion is that?
Who does he
just
play
wasn't.
for?
Man, I don't know. I didn't retain that information. I just was looking at the man and how he was playing back there, and it just wasn't. It didn't look elite. I played with some elite flag football quarterbacks who are like cold, and I didn't see that from him. So to say that he's the guy who Mahomes could never replace was just insane. You know, if the highlights looked better, if his tape was better, then I might play around with the idea of him being better suited. And I can't even say that. It's just not something you should say. It's just not something you should say.
That. He shouldn't.
Yeah,
say that. He definitely
but I don't
check that his ass ain't gonna cash.
You are. Oh, look at you cursing. Okay, curse. I love a good curse from Samaria. Let me know you human. I don't think our star players even have to play. Like, we can have practice players be a part of the flag football league. It could be those caliber of guys. Because also what I would hate to happen is what we just saw in 2024 and 2028 with the 3-on-3 basketball team.
I know you was about to say.
Listen. If we got some Jimmy Fredette ass people trying to play flag football and represent our country who are not the ones, no.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly.
No.
They definitely need to be better prepared. They need to start training now. They need to start doing like friendlies across the world. Like, they need to be going because these other teams, these other countries, they be serious. They take this stuff serious.
They do.
So we need to be prepared. It's not we just gonna be throwing some people. No, we need some people who play flag football for a living.
Nah, we can throw pros out there. We can throw pros out there because from an athletic standpoint, they're gonna be dominant. Like the physicality isn't the same. Yes, the rules, sure, but that's what coaching is for. But from an athletic standpoint, it'll be a smooth and easy transition. They play 7-on-7 all the time, right? Like, that's not too different. There's a two-hand touch a lot of times in training camps. Like, you're not allowed to tackle. So, grabbing a flag can be tough when people are doing hip drops and twists and turns and stuff like that, spin moves. But nah, we can't have people like this taking shots at Patrick Mahomes. He's trying to take the Noah Lyles playbook. But he is not a world champion. I get what you're trying to do, champ. You're trying to put that spotlight on yourself, and you did it. Cause I'm talking about you. We talking about you. You got hella clips, USA Today, all over the place. But not because anybody's taking you seriously. Because you are hanging your hat on something meaningful and worthwhile. It's just because we can't believe you said something so crazy. So, better luck next time, my boy. Y'all let us know your thoughts in the comments section. Do you feel like there is any chance in hell that Patrick Mahomes would not dominate on a flag football field?
All right, that's all for this week. Thank you so much for joining us for another great episode of The Fumble. Make sure to subscribe to The Fumble and at The Fumble Sports on all of our social media platforms. Of course, we deliver the latest in sports every day on our YouTube page with our girl Jackie Ray, and then every Friday right here at The Fumble with myself, Samaria Terry, and my co-host, Rodney Ricotta.
Hey, man, great show today, Samaria. You freaking killed it, bro. You freaking nailed this one. Out the park. Out the park. Happy birthday, Kobe. Happy birthday, Kobe. Kobe. Happy birthday, my boy. Mamba. 823,
I
you don't know?
need you to have your hair braided next week. Thanks.
Why don't you get a part on the other side of your head? Or you got a lopsided dome. We out of here.
I usually wear it in the middle. But I'm gone.